episode of Star Mountain Outdoors and Bushcraft. I'm John, and I'm going to take you on a trip into the Pecos Wilderness today to a place called Nambe Lake. Come join me. Okay, today I plan on starting here at Aspen Basin, and I'm heading up Trail 254 over this ridge to this creek, up the creek to Nambe Lake. And I'll probably be camping. There's a big meadow right before the lake, right about in there somewhere. Wild irises, one of my favorite wildflowers in the area. Plenty of dandelions. Maybe I can have a salad later. At first glance, I thought this was a spot where somebody took a knife and carved off a piece of bark off of this aspen. But when I looked a little closer, I saw the two telltale tooth marks of the incisors of an elk. So this was a piece of aspen that an elk browsed upon last winter. And that's one way you know there's elk around. Going through a dense stand of Engelmann spruce. In the undergrowth is grouse whortleberry. No berries this time of year, unfortunately. The date is, I believe, June 11th. And there should be still a few snowfields and that sort of thing around Nambe Lake when I get there. And I gotta be careful not to hit the camera with a tree as I walk by. I've never used my tripod as a selfie stick before, but I'm giving it a shot. To give you a background on Nambe Lake, it's a high alpine lake. It's in a rocky, glacially sculpted basin, which means that the bedrock is down low, that the soil is shallow, and the bedrock, is up high. And therefore, anytime you go to the bathroom or anything like that, you could be polluting the lakes. So I'm gonna camp downstream a ways near a big meadow where there's deeper soil and hopefully not pollute any lakes or streams. And then I can just take a couple day hikes up to the lake and enjoy it. So anyway, come join me. Okay, I've made it to the first trail junction. It's the trail down to the Rio Nambe that I usually take to access my canyon camp, which I may do a trip to that this summer as well. I want to go when there are plenty of wild edibles down there, and there are plenty of wild edibles in that canyon, so it'll be fun. I'll try to live off the land a little bit. Hey, I think I see a little note or something tucked in there. Let's see what that's about. Okay, what I thought was a little note turned out to just be a piece of trash. Somebody was cute and thought they tucked it up under the sign, so I stuck it in my pocket, and I'll hike it out like I always do. You would think people would know not to leave trash in a wilderness area, but they still do. What can you do? Just pack it out when you see it. Okay, here's a new tree species for those of you who live out of the area. This is called Cork Bark Fir, and if you look, I don't know if you can see how spongy that is, but it's a really soft material like cork. And I'm sure there's probably some bushcraft uses for it, but I don't know what they are. I think that's something I'm gonna need to look up. So we'll maybe see what the Native Americans did with it, or you know, Aboriginal uses of it. I think it'd be pretty interesting to find out. Okay, now we're moving out of the dark forest into a little more open stand of aspen. Kind of what this trail is famous for, and it's a pretty hike. It's a bit of a rough, rocky trail, but it's once you get over that steep part, it's fairly flat and nice, and it's an enjoyable hike. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this one up. I forget what it's called, but I know it's a type of legume. So it's a nitrogen fixer in the soil, and it's a good plant to have around. It's commonly associated with aspen stands and that sort of thing, and pine stands in you know, Colorado and New Mexico. And I hear that the deer and cattle love it. Okay, the sound of that rushing stream signifies that I am at the trail junction for Nambe Lake. And as you can see, no camping or campfires within 200 feet of the lake. So I think it's a good decision to camp down by the meadow. I'm now on the Nambe Lake Trail, and this is a steep one, folks, but I'm only a mile from the lake, so I've gone a couple miles already, and it's only 9:30 in the morning. I've just been hiking a little over an hour. I'm feeling good. My pack is sized about right. Got the right amount of weight. It was about 40 pounds, and I'm a 200 plus pound guy, so it's not bad for me. I'm looking forward to seeing the trail here, because I know there was some trail work done to this trail last year, so I'm seeing if it's any better. But man, judging from this, it does not look any better to me. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So it's a good rocky, rough trail, but it's well used, and actually it takes me by a beautiful stream, lots of little cascades and waterfalls. I'm looking forward to showing you guys. A little view of Santa Fe Baldy, one of the other high peaks in this area. Okay, now I'm starting to get to a pretty section of trail. It's a little spring-fed creek right here that crosses the trail. And as I continue on, the trail soon kind of joins up with the creek and takes you along right next to the creek, where we have beautiful views of the cascades coming down the mountain. You can kind of tell how steep the trail is too by how many little waterfalls there are in the creek. But look at that, it's just amazing. I love little mountain streams like this. And it's early enough in the year that, as you can see back there from that big snowdrift, but the snow is still melting. The creek's running full, which makes it extra pretty. And lordy lord, I enjoy this hike. Alright, here's where I've decided to make my camp. I'll give you a handheld tour in a little while, but now I'm just going to let the camera run and show you how I set up my camp. I started by laying out the ridge line. Next, I removed any of the branches that were in the way of my tarp setup. I was then able to tie my ridge line. I used a simple overhand square knot on the first side. I used a trucker's hitch on the other side to tighten the rope. I used a toggle on the quick release so it wouldn't go anywhere on me. Check it for taut. Now it's time to hang the tarp over the ridge line. I'll connect the tarp to the ridgeline with a prusik and toggles on each side. I had already staked down both the back corners of the tarp by this point. Next, I've tied the remaining two corners to tree branches. Ta-da! Now it's time to hang the hammock. First, I'll connect the strap to the tree. Then I'll connect the hammock to the straps. Oops, the tarp is too close to the hammock. Pardon while I make some adjustments. Not bad. Now I'll put together the fire ring. So here you have it, my camp's all set up. I started hiking at 8:15. It's now 10:37. I have the rest of the day to check out the amazing scenery around here. Maybe just collect a little firewood for tonight, and I'll be good to go. Another thing I did is, as you can hear, it got a little windy, and the tarp is catching the wind like a sail, so it pulled out one of the stakes, and at that point I decided to put rocks on the line to keep the stakes in the ground. And I did another line too. So I've got 3 tie downs here, and then 2 to trees up higher for the front side. Okay, I've got some water on the boil for a little lunch. Just a little noodle soup. Nothing fancy, just something really simple and easy. And while that's cooking, I'm going to give you a tour of the camp. So anyway, here's where I built the fire pit, and of course the hammock and tarp setup. The breeze is picking up right now. As you can see, I've got a small pile of firewood cut, but I'm going to need quite a bit more than that, I think. So I like to keep a fire going at night. And over here, this is where I'm going to hang my food. As you can see, it's up there about, I'd say, 16, 17 feet high, something like that, so it's over 12 feet. It's about 4 feet from the bole of the tree, so I think it should be quite safe there. And truth be told, there's not really a lot of bears that hang out around here anyway. Not this particular part of the wilderness anyway. It's a popular trail and there's too many people around. Scares them away. Down here is where I get my water and that sort of thing, at the main creek. And there's even a spring flowing right out of the ground right there. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I could probably get safe drinking water just from that. I think water is just as important as heat, so I have backups after backups, you know. I have fire for purifying water, I've got a life straw for filtering water, and I've got iodine tablets for purifying water that way too. So not only do I carry 3 forms of fire lighting devices, I carry 3 forms of water purifying devices. Speaking of needing water, my throat's a little dry and I'm getting thirsty. I think I'll go back to camp for a drink of water. Oh, I almost forgot. Before I go back to the camp and get some water, I just wanted to show you the kind of glacially formed canyon I'm in. And the snowfields up above, it's just kind of pretty. Up there is Raven's Ridge. There's a trail up on top. It's time to eat my soup. And I think I will add, I don't know if you can see that, maybe a little oregano and basil. Ah, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I ended up putting some garlic powder in there too. Give it a little Italian flair. I don't know where I found this, but it's just a little case I can put all my spices in so that I can do some cooking when I'm outdoors. Even though I'm just making ramen today, sometimes I get fancy. But bon appetit. not bad. Put a little too much water in it maybe. That's okay, I need the extra hydration. Whew, it's still hot. Alright, I won't bore you by making you watch me eat the whole time, so I will continue this afterwards. Here's something that most bushcrafters don't show you. How to poop in the woods. So, I'm gonna show you what I do. Usually I like a smooth log that I can sit on and hang my butt over the edge so I can poop down below and do it comfortably in case I have to sit there for a while. So yeah, it just doesn't work with squatting for me. So anyway, this is what I've done. The wood is really rough up here, so I had to smooth off a piece, and I moved some rocks and some sticks to lift it up off the ground, at least high enough to hang my butt over, and then I just dug a trench behind it. So that should be good for at least 2 poops. I do one, I bury it on one side, do it next, bury it on the other. And then that way I've got my camp latrine in order for 2 days. And of course the log was rolling a little bit, so I had to stake it down. I don't normally do that. I don't normally go that far, but in this case I had to. So anyway, there's my camp latrine. I got some stuff ready to build a fire tonight when I get back to camp after I hike up to the lake. So I made some curls and a couple feather sticks, and then basically I'm going to throw just some twigs on them, and then I've got a little bit of split wood, and then I can start burning the real fuel. So that's my plan for fire for tonight. Alright, time to get some clear, cool mountain spring water. And there we go. Oh, that's good. Look at these guys. I can't wait to find out what these are. Okay, here I am hiking again, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this trail is kicking my A-star. It is steep. Whew. Man, oh man. Let me give you the aerial view here. Man. Whew. But the waterfalls are pretty. It's just one constant cascade down the mountain here. So pretty. Let me give you a shot of that. That water's in a hurry to get down the mountain, but I'm not in a hurry to get up. It's steep. I'll just take my time, lots of breaks, drink lots of water. It's a dry day today. That wind and the temperature sucking the moisture out of me. That's New Mexico for you. But it's a pretty state too, and I enjoy living here. Alright, here I go. Uh-oh. This is the first time the trail's been blocked by snow, but I can skirt around this. But I still have a ways to climb. Hopefully there won't be too much snow. I don't want to be post holding it, because it's warm today and that snow is soft. Just beautiful. And the marsh marigolds are in full bloom. and there's still snow on the north slopes here. And from here we have a view up to Lake Peak. Nambe Lake is gonna be right up there. It's in that little bowl right underneath the top of the mountain. All right, I'm starting to get up there in elevation now. Probably somewhere around 11,500 feet. We're getting close to lake level. And the hike is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the cliffs behind me. I'm crossing some snowdrifts, and the lake is right behind me. I don't know if you can see it that well, but let's go take a look. Glad I didn't decide to camp here. It's probably going to be still pretty cold here at night. Wow. This is beautiful. Oh my word. Just take a look. Take a look behind me at this Alpine Lake Basin we've got here. That's Lake Peak in the background. Just beautiful. Okay, this was kind of the area where I was thinking of camping originally, but I am glad I didn't, because it's still underneath snow. All right. This water is about as close to the source as you can get. I'm gonna fill up. Oh, this is the cleanest water I've ever seen. Oh, it's good and cold. Wow, that's great. Oh. For the next couple of hours, I soaked in the beauty of this pristine mountain basin. The reflections in the water were mesmerizing. Then I saw a marmot, and my peace was shattered. Okay, now I will attempt to make fire. Oh, it's catching. It's catching. Alright, I think that's got it going. Isn't this an awesome fireplace? The solid rock base. Oh, it doesn't get better than that. Oh, let's put some twigs on there. Not too many. I don't want it to get too high. My tarp's right here. There's still a little bit of wind. And I'm going to put a pot of water on the boil. It's a little early in the fire, but it can start heating up now anyway. Oh yeah, it's getting perfect. Might shove a few more coals under there. It's not quite hot enough. Delicious. Oh, that's perfect. All right. It's about 9:06 and I'm cozy in my hammock. There's a fire blazing. And it's a warmer night than I expected so far. I thought as soon as it got dark it would get cold, but no, it's doing good. So anyway, I think this is where I sign off for the day, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Good morning. I finally got my fire going this morning. I've got coffee on the brew, and I'm gonna make some bannock for breakfast with cheese. Good coffee. It's a beautiful morning, not a cloud in the sky. Okay folks, here is how I make my bannock. I've got my bannock mix here. I'm gonna need to add some water. Probably good. To leave a little in the package, I'm just gonna dump it in. This isn't really the correct way to do it, but I've got a lot here. This might be a double recipe. Add a little water. Add the cheese. Already chopped up. I'm gonna add it gets that doughy consistency. It's even getting a little hard to mix. Okay, I think it might be done. It's starting to crack on top. It looks good. The cheese is starting to leak out the sides. It looks a little black on the bottom, but let's go ahead and see if we can crack her out of here and give it a taste. Oh, it's hot. Whew. And it's stuck. Dump her out. Doesn't look bad. Now for the true test. Let's taste it. Can you see it there? Oh yeah, you can see it. It's good. Breakfast is served. Alright, everything's packed up and ready to go. I guess this is another edition of Star Mountain Outdoors and Bushcraft signing off. Have a good one.